Hello, my name is Scott Langston, and I'd like to welcome you to this video, which is part of a series of videos discussing different mental health concerns, what they are and what their symptoms look like, and how they can be treated. So we all experience anxiety before an exam, before a job interview, before a difficult conversation that you have to have, or a major life change. Anxiety is normal and helpful. Anxiety serves a purpose. From an evolutionary point of view, anxiety warns us of potential danger and it floods our body with chemicals that help us access our fight or flight response, gives us energy to run away or to fight. It's a survival mechanism. However, it can lead us astray when the response of anxiety is no longer a relevant response to what's happening in life. Part of this is because of the way our environment has changed much more quickly than our evolution has. So that anxious response to fight or run away is not necessarily suitable when you're nervous about making a speech in front of a group of people. That aside, that form of anxiety is relatively normal. It motivates us, it helps us focus, and we can all have excessive anxiety at times, but the purpose of this video is to talk about something, a form of anxiety that goes far beyond everyday stress. Generalized anxiety disorder is one of the most common mental health conditions. It's frequently misunderstood, it's frequently minimized, or mistaken for a personality trait, like this person is just a worrier or is highly strung. So I want to explain what it is. I want to explain, as I've said, what it's not and how we can address it. People with GAD do not worry about one specific thing. It's a chronic mental health condition characterized by excessive and persistent worry about a wide range of things. It can feel impossible to control the amount of worry that is going on. And the sort of things that people would typically worry about would be their health or the health of loved ones, work or school performance, finances, relationships, making mistakes, or future outcomes. And what distinguishes GAD from normal worry is the intensity, the duration, and the impact. The anxiety in GAD occurs on most days for 6 months or more. It is disproportionate to the actual situation and it interferes with daily functioning. It also affects the body, not just the mind. Physical symptoms include muscle tension, restlessness, feeling on edge, fatigue, difficulties with concentration, sleep problems, headaches, stomach issues are common, a racing heart, shortness of breath. For many people, this anxiety becomes a constant background noise. It's always present and it is exhausting. To really understand it, we need to dismiss some common myths. So, GAD is not worrying too much. People with GAD are often acutely aware that their worries are excessive and irrational, but that insight doesn't make the worrying stop. It leads to frustration, shame, and self criticism. Generalized anxiety disorder is not a lack of resilience or coping skills. Many people with anxiety are highly capable, responsible, and thoughtful. In fact, their anxiety often stems from a strong desire to prevent harm, to do well, and to protect others. GAD is not something that can be solved by reassurance alone. In fact, reassurance, whilst it may help temporarily, often feeds into anxiety by reinforcing the idea that there is something that needs to be constantly checked and that certainty is necessary to feel safe. Finally, generalized anxiety disorder is not always visible. Someone with this disorder may appear calm, organized, and successful on the outside, but experience constant internal tension. Anxiety is often hidden behind competence. Anxiety, as I alluded to at the start of this, is driven by the brain's threat detection system. In generalized anxiety disorder, the system becomes overactive and does not shut down after it's been triggered. The brain constantly scans for danger, even when no immediate threat is present. Worry becomes a form of mental problem solving, attempting to gain control and prevent bad outcomes. But instead of reducing anxiety, chronic worry keeps the nervous system in a state of alert. And over time, this leads to exhaustion, avoidance, and a reduced quality of life. So, therapy for generalized anxiety disorder does not aim to eliminate anxiety entirely, because some anxiety, as we've said, is normal and useful. But instead, it helps people change their relationship to anxiety, reduce its intensity, and stop it from running and ruining their lives. Cognitive behavioral therapy is very effective as a treatment for GAD. It helps people identify common themes that they're worried about, some of their more catastrophic thinking patterns, the tendency they have to overestimate a threat, and to underestimate simultaneously their ability to cope with it. So rather than eliminate worry, CBT teaches people that they can handle worry and the discomfort, and that this kind of uncertainty is a normal part of life. Acceptance and commitment therapy is another approach that's very helpful for people who feel trapped in constant mental struggle. ACT teaches that thoughts are just experiences, they're not commands, and they're not facts. Instead of arguing with anxious thoughts, individuals can learn to notice them without engaging, to allow anxiety to exist without internal resistance, and to focus attention on their values and meaningful actions they can take. So, for example, in ACT, you might feel anxious about a social interaction, but choose to engage anyway because that connection is important to you and your values. There's another form of therapy called metacognitive therapy, which focuses specifically on how people relate to worry itself. People with generalized anxiety disorder often hold on to thoughts such as worrying keeps me safe. If I stop worrying, something bad will happen. I'm not responsible for my thoughts, so these things just happen to me. But MCT does help people stop worrying for so much of the time. It changes beliefs about the usefulness and the dangers of worry or not worrying, and it develops control over attention. Broadly, mindfulness-based therapies will help individuals notice anxiety and anxious thoughts as they arise without reacting to them, and allow themselves to distance from them before they spiral and become something too big to control. Mindfulness-based therapies reduce physical tension and improve emotional regulation, and they build up a tolerance for uncertainty. So again, rather than eliminating anxiety, they reduce its grip and its intensity. Now, as with depression, some people benefit from therapy alone, while others benefit from a combination of therapy and medication. Medications can help to calm the nervous system, making it easier to engage in therapy and in daily life. It's not a cure, but again, like the walking stick with the damaged leg, it's a support and something that can help towards engaging in therapy properly so that the underlying concerns can be addressed. I'd like to leave you with a message that generalized anxiety disorder is manageable. People who have this disorder learn to live full, meaningful lives, even with a level of anxiety present. They stop being fearful of their thoughts, and they stop shrinking their lives in order to feel safe. And they regain a trust in their own ability to cope. Anxiety convinces people that there is danger everywhere. Understanding this reminds us that support is as well. Thank you for listening and for helping to create a world where anxiety is met with empathy, not with judgment. Please feel free to like and subscribe below and check back for other videos in this series exploring and explaining different types of mental health conditions. Thank you.